Welcome to season 3 of the POV podcast. My name is Kate River, and I told you season 3 continues with African stories and African leaders. My African leader today is a songstress, award-winning Benga artist. And I think once you hear her voice, you already know who it is. But there's no way you would go for Mugithi night or even any night out in Kenya or Nairobi, you would not hear her song. If you do, you're missing out, or rather you're in the wrong place. Kareh B, who's one of the biggest artists in the Mugithi and Kikuyu scene, joins me today. She's going to be telling me about her journey. She's an African leader in her own chance. We're going to be talking life, music, and of course, kama amepanga kusimama 2025.
Hey.
Everyone does that.
The pressure is too much on that department.
Have you been told to simama?
Of course.
Where now? What is
Muranga. I've been told to be a women rep in Muranga, and I'm like, really?
Yeah. Allah?
Yeah.
That would be exciting.
Would it?
Yeah.
Why do you think so?
It's a good transition, you know. It's always a good transition to see people who have been influential and grown up in that place. It's good to see. It's the evolution of anyone.
Yeah.
Because the guy from Fugees who vied for presidency in Haiti.
Mm-hmm.
So musicians wanasimama pia.
Okay. Well, not to say that we can't, but for me, I haven't envisioned myself like that. So maybe not yet.
Okay.
Maybe in the future.
We do 27 ikombali. We still have a year plus to think about it. But it would be a great thing to see. Girl from Muranga.
Me here. Original.
My God. I like how you've really packaged yourself. You've not really packaged yourself as just a Mugithi artist. More of a Benga artist. And I really like that.
Yeah.
Watu wengi unajua wanakuanga wamejieka kwa classifications. Why did you refuse to put yourself in a certain box?
Because my musical journey is very broad. And I felt like I can't put myself in a box. And that's why I just decided to diversify even my packaging, how I present myself, how I do my songs.
Yeah.
It's because of the exposure, the experience over the years was just immense.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So we're talking someone who's doing BGV, who's, done Coke Studio, which is one of the biggest, African platforms, to even doing BGV for some Kenyan artists.
Yeah.
Which was the most memorable day on stage as a BGV, not as a solo?
As a BGV, of course, it's with the... I haven't even thought about that question.
Yeah.
But the biggest artist I worked with for the first time was, what was her name? Achengabura.
Oh my God, the late.
Yeah, Achengabura was my first big artist to do BGV.
Yeah.
I've done for Nameless and I'm sure he cannot remember me. Back then I was so thin.
Ulikuwa ka small girl.
Nilikuwa kakiru, kapenka. Wanaitangwa
What do we pay? Naitangwa laptop size, ama? I don't know.
Yeah.
PYT.
Iyo.
Yeah.
But now, when I went to Coke Studio, I did the likes of Salif Keita. I did, nimefanya wasanii wengi.
Hey, baby girl.
Baby girl. So unaona ile exposure yote niko nayo alafu nikuje nijeke kwa box. Not possible.
But do you remember like a crazy moment on stage as a BGV? Because I know there's a difference between being back there and in front.
The crazy.
You're about to pick up the whole stage. Ama sijui microphone ilitoka, sijui ama uliambiwa get off.
Okay, if I can remember, the biggest point I had was when Achengabura's microphone was not working. Yani show inaendelea.
Allah.
Then she decided, Kareh,
endelea, pick up.
I was like, what? And I picked up.
With courage.
With courage.
And you have to know the song word for word.
You have to.
My God.
Yeah.
Do you know how many songs you have sung in your lifetime?
Aki. Woi.
Ni
mingi sana. That's why even sometimes you'll see me either with a notebook or my phone, nime Google lyrics on stage because there's so many.
There's so many songs in your head.
So many.
And then there's something about Mugithi music, especially here in Kenya, and Benga music. Whenever it's performed, you see people do also old school of those ones. Wanafanya rendition yao.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? Mtu mwingine ngoma.
I guess it comes from the oldies are such gems. Yani nyimbo za kitambo zilikuwanga tamu. The Mugithi ones.
Yeah.
And now you'll find that the artists who are still with us no longer perform. Yeah. Or you just feel like the ones who are coming up grew up with those songs and now they feel like they want to bring a little bit of youngness and, youthfulness and some aliveness to the old school kind of music.
I think anytime I hear Mugithi, I go one-man guitar.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
The likes of Salim Jr.?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what we relate with. And for a long time, it was only just one female artist who was really big for a long time. time. There are many others that came in, but for a very long time. And then it became like almost like a family thing. Why is that? Why is it that ni mtoto wa Salim Junior Junior, and then I'm like, is it a family thing?
Well, you'll find some family like Salim Junior and the Salims. The majority of them are very talented.
Oh, okay.
Because you'll find maybe the dad was a singer, so they've grown up with music. It's like the Jacksons. Yeah, so si eti ni kujibox. Unajipata tu umegrow na music, alafu unajipata, we can make money through singing, so we all sing.
Have you ever had influence from family with your music?
My family?
Yeah.
Apparently not.
Ni wewe tu?
Imagine ni mimi.
Allah.
But my mom tells me she used to sing in church. My aunt, I don't know anyone else who has like been out there like me from my family.
Yeah.
No.
I know coming from, most African homes, the version of your daughter singing in the club scene at night as a woman is not the first thing Mother picks up on. By the time umwambie, hii ndio kazi tunafanyanga. Do you remember telling her that? Or nana limfikishie hiyo barua?
Let's just say aside with acting.
Yes.
Now, when I was doing my diploma in UON, I part-time I was doing theater.
Yes.
So that's the part she knew.
Yes.
She didn't know the part where I transitioned into a musician. I wouldn't say I'm a musician.
It's okay.
She didn't know that part because I knew for sure there will be problems. So I kept it under wraps.
Okay.
And that's, I think, for the longest time, I was just uko chini ya maji, niko huko BGV,
Ujitokelezi?
Sikuwa ninajitokelezea. So by the time my mom was knowing what I'm doing, like in terms of singing, she was like, ulijulia wapi kuimba? Let's start there.
She's not even mad.
No.
Okay.
Because Ananiona, at that time she knew Ananiona na the likes of Jeff Koinange. That's when I was doing country music.
Then she's okay.
Then she's like,
Hiya, isn't that my child? No, she saw you on TV. You are not the one who told her.
She saw me. She was like, who's that? Is that when?
You know, Kwanza, you'd be shocked when you're like, this is my kid. I probably talk to them jana. Am I nimemwona na my grandkid? Who expects?
Yeah. But mi nilikuwa najua guy akijua basi ni hivo. Career yangu imeisha. She'll tell me to stop. But apparently she didn't.
Wow.
I guess it's because at the point she knew when. Yeah. And I think that was by God's plan.
Yeah.
Because angejua back then, angeniambia Karen, no, stop.
Why would she say no?
Because it's in clubs, unaimbia people who are painting and all that, maybe the perception people have of clubs. So she'll be like, no, you're not going to do that.
Woman.
Finish your public relations and go and look for a proper job. That's what she'd have said. But I thank God it happened when it happened. Yeah. So she was very embraced. She even used to tell me, sasa, what you kinda nini, uvae hivi.
Ala! Yan ndio anapanga. Mama Kareh, hi. I hope you're well. You seeing this? She's flourishing, doing her thing.
Goodness, yeah.
It's really beautiful to see, you being embraced in the industry and just picking up. One of the biggest songs you did with Josega Tutura, I think that's the one that pushed kabisa. Yes, the country music was doing well, but that's the song that pushed you.
That's the song that even introduced me to a wider audience.
Yes.
Only the country music audience used to know me.
Yeah.
But now when the Twega came about, hey, everyone else knew me. And they were like, Kareh meteko. Where did that girl come from? But if they only knew I have struggled in these streets for the longest.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, Twega really catapulted both of us.
What numbers is it doing right now on YouTube?
I think it's almost 8 million.
8 million views. When I grow up, God is good. Unasikia.
Yeah.
How is the dynamic working, with another young artist as well? Because both of you were just starting out, actually. When I think about you and Gaturu, you're just starting out in the industry and then it picked up. There's a lot of competition to either collabo or do solo or continue collab like juu inafanya poa tuendelee.
The thing kitambo walikuwa nafanya collabo.
Yes.
And then when the one man position was brought about, everyone started going solo. So I would say, please audience, correct me if I'm wrong, Twega brought back collabos. It brought back duets.
Yes.
And so much so that people were like, okay, we can all do this.
Because then with that's when we saw Joyce Wamama and Samido. It started becoming
a thing.
Yeah.
But apparently, Jose had been in the industry also for a while.
Okay.
Alikuwa na struggle tu pande yake ka mimi struggle side yangu. But I would say it's God who brought us together and we did what we did.
Yeah.
And the song is still booming. Mi upita tu hivi kwa streets na sana, I'm like, thank God, that's me, man.
Did you believe it when you saw it so big on every Kikuyu show?
No.
Do you remember the first time you showed ulenda ukasukumia DJ fulani mulifanya nini?
Let me tell you, we didn't even skumia anyone. Because me when
usije hapa kwa POV kutudanganya.
Listen.
Okay.
This is what happened.
Tell me.
Jose alikuja kwenye nilikuwa naimba country.
Okay.
Pale Galileo Westlands. He came as a normal guest. I didn't know who he was. Now when he approached me, I was like, Mugithi tena. Nani anaimba Mugithi?
Allah.
I was like, okay, fine. So he told me, you just come and record, ingine just leave it to me. So me, I was like, it's just like any other song you're called by a random artist, come and do BGV for me, and life goes on. So me, that's what I went there with the brain, and it's just any other song.
Yeah.
If you look at the video properly, you'll see that video, I was not well prepared because nilikuwa kwa studio. Nilikuwa kwa studio, yani tuko hapa tunafanya final touches nifanyiwe mastering.
Yes.
Then here comes Jose with a cameraman. I'm like, who's he doing? And what is he?
When?
Then he was like, where is he in BTS? I didn't know what BTS was then. Isn't it BTS? You just do your thing.
Yeah.
Kidogo, that's the main video. A week later, I'm like, who be that?
Aya, kumbe mulikuwa serious.
Aya, tulikuwa serious hivyo. Yeah, well, that's how it happened.
I think it's the most unexpected.
Most unexpected. And then streets za uko Lutuli, uko Tirum, uko
Rivaroli.
Hapo ndio ilikuwa imeendelea.
Unajua uko ndio imekita mizizi.
Ulikuwa unapita hivi unasikia, my lord. So, ukweli, mimi pangu, si kupush hiyo song. Si kupush. Juu hata sikuwa huko.
Akili yako iko huko.
Kasong tu hit the ground running.
You were not thinking about Mugithi.
Nah. I was not even thinking it'll be a big star through that. Mugithi.
The most scary thing is for a lot of artists is peaking. And then you're like, what next? Because you do one big song. And that's what everyone wants to hear. No, you can't be mad at consumers.
Yeah.
Because that's what touches them. How do you handle that? Because everyone just wants that one.
I remember having a conversation with Jose because he had been in the game in the Mugithi world for a while. So he sat me down. He told me, Kareh, now you need a name. We can't just call you Wangari. You sound come Maziwa Mala, okay? Yeah. So, and the other thing, it's easy to hit and become famous.
Yes.
But the hardest part is maintaining that mali umejiweka ama mali music imekufikisha.
Yeah.
So, hapa ndio kazi imeanza.
Guy.
He sat me down and he gave me that conversation.
Now let's work.
Yeah. So, I think over the years, I'm still working to maintain. Yeah, kwa sababu hapa ndio kazi iko.
Constantly singing. She's always doing live performance. I think that's what I love most. Yeah. And live performances keep the song alive. But that's where you started. So it's natural
It's natural for me. Thank God for that.
I think that's really, really great. She's done acting. I'm yet to see more of the things she's doing. Hizo pia anatufichia lakini tutazipata. Na najua tukiangalia some of this Kameme TV, Nora TV, you get a few.
Not really, no.
They were not Kikuyu.
Imagine.
I think I assume.
No, the thing is, hata sijaifanya hizi issues za Kikuyu. Me, as an actor, I did proper set books and public live plays.
Okay.
Hizi za kina Tahidi Hai Mwala ilikuwa tu featuring hapa pale umeonekana 2 seconds kwa TV hivi. So I can't say to go and watch.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten to that level, which I would love to because I recently got back to acting with a company called Quadego.
Yes.
So that it brought me back to the acting. You know,
ukiwa hapo unafanya dip yako unatoroka Nairobi class unaingia.
So I'd love to feature in any of the Kenyan upcoming films.
Yeah.
I'd love that.
It's really good to expand your portfolio to see you doing so many different things. And as you said that umeongelea mambo ya skits and all that and doing set books and I know you saw the propaganda that was very recent. How does that affect someone like you knowing that a lot of people learnt about their talent through being on stage? Because I know in high school, ulijaribu hizi vitu.
Yeah. I remember the first play I did as a boy.
You acted like a boy.
I should tell you something.
Ulikuwa na act kama kaboy?
Nilikuwa kikoda. Nilikuwa hivi kama sidano.
Ulikuwa flanted.
Sikuwa na
back
kitu.
And forth. So unakaa kijana.
So I qualified to play a boy.
Haiko.
Unavaa tu kofia. Life goes on.
Yeah.
So in the recent past, whatever has been happening, it's very unfortunate because they are the ones who set the books to be done in high school.
Yes.
And some of the students come and say that they passed the literature through the acting part because now you kujituma tu.
Yes.
Now go learn the lines from the book and we present them, make it a bit alive for them to understand.
Yeah.
So it's very sad to see what happened. And kama wana kill dreams, let's start there. Because those students who are acting those books, they are future actors.
Of course.
Future directors and producers.
Of course.
So me feel very sad.
Yeah.
Na nikajiuliza why?
What have we become and who have we turned to?
What's going on? Na huko ndo tumetoka pia sisi.
Inaturudisha back. If you're going to be muting people at a young age, then it becomes
where are we heading? Surely, honestly.
Let's talk about Mugithi and where it's heading. Sometimes I usually want to see more of the music more than the drama. So when you see drama with certain artists here and there, I'm always like, ini ya kuuza tickets ama ni ya nini? Hii kiki mnafanyanga ni ya kuuza tikiti ama?
Ukiangalia vizuri si wote wanafanyanga kiki.
Wewe una kiki? Ama unajua mtu anaitwa kiki? Me as Kareh B.
Nishaikuwa na kiki? I don't think so. But I guess kiki wenye wanataka go through the kiki way of selling the song is up to them.
Yeah.
But Mugithi is doing so well right now, I would say. And even embracing the upcoming artists who have now given us a new sound to Mugithi.
Yeah.
It's just giving us a new life, which is amazing. It just goes to say, Mugithi, yani nikitrain tu hakitawaiisha. Wezoea tu.
Baidhi kwanza ni ya zamani sana.
Sindio?
Mi nashindangwa cause ninaonanga, I see some younger artists do now your rendition. And then I'm always like, so how do you handle that? Knowing that sometimes mtu anafanya rendition yako alafu aichape better than you.
I'll be so happy.
You're sure?
I'll be so happy. Because now that shows I've influenced someone. Someone is looking up to me. Someone is trying to be better than me. Me, I get so happy.
And imitation is the best, form of flattery.
Me, I learned through Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey.
Oh, wow.
They were my teachers. But in my bedroom, nilikuwa nafinya stop. Nakumbuka ile ready cassette player.
Unarudisha nyuma. Na kalamu.
Unafinya stop, alafu naandika chenye amesema.
Unaandika?
Sikuwa na lyrics, ningetoa happy. Hakukuwa na Google.
Ulikuwa overdo.
Lazima ulani hizi vitu.
Itabidi overdo. Sababu kuna njaro mbili. I've seen you do music in a lot of spaces. I think I've actually seen you live twice. And I have to say, it takes a lot to control certain crowds. What are the troubles of being on stage? And some of these Mugithi spots, people are, enjoying a glass of whiskey or 5 of whiskey.
Yeah.
And they want to touch you. They want to kiss you. They want to, Kareh B.
All that.
Kareh B.
Well. And unaonanga some of the artists hang around with security people.
Yeah.
People say ni maringos, jiskuzi ameomoka.
Wewe unakuanga na security?
Wako. Wanakuanga tu in home clothes. Wako tu, wameka tu mahali, lakini they're not like in your face.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes you'll find watu wame-indulge sana, they start misbehaving. And being a lady, sina hiyo nguvu.
At the beginning, because I know at the beginning no one had security.
Yeah.
Munaitwa tu huku mnaenda. How are you handling that? Alafu making sure that you
get tu na mic. We, nini. We, si ukae huko ni kuimbie. Tumalize hii story. Honestly. You haven't seen artists wanagonga audience na mic. Shindwe.
Wacha kunikaribia sana kwanza because you're a girl.
Yeah.
And then some people, for some reason, people feel if you're a girl and you're out, you're down.
Yeah.
You're down for a good time. You know?
And when you're on stage, you wouldn't dress up like Reggio Maria.
Yeah.
You have to look the part.
Yeah.
So some parts of the body are showing. You have to look like
Torio Twegger.
So you'll find some people are like, they misjudge you or they just, wakikuona kwa club wanakubeba we ni wale wengine. So wanakumisunderstand. Please, guys, understand. Mdema akiwa pale mbele anakaa maridadi. Ako job.
Ako wera.
Wache tu waimbe na amani yake. Don't go there and start disrupting her peace.
Have you ever been offered like extra money to date someone because of,
I've been written checks, ma'am.
Unajua itabidi Range Rover.
Utabidi sasa step up.
Unafanyanga nini hizi checks? Unazikula alafu unakula pesa ama unafanya nini?
Let me tell you, back in the day when I was starting off, nata nilikuanga tu hapa Riverside hapa Office Park. Watu walikuwa. It was a Benga spot. It was, rumba mostly.
Yes.
So unapata mzee amekaa nini. You've been tipped, and those wababas don't tip you with cash. They tip you with either alcohol or they tell you to go where and, do what, or they write you a check. So maybe when I was new there, I was, pombe sawa, ni pombe. Sasa umepata uko na hivi. Stock imejaa kwa counter ni yako. I was like, no, this is not okay.
Yeah.
So mimi nikaanza kusema, because they used to give you an option. Nataka pombe ama check. I'm like, niandikie check.
Andika check.
So half the time utapata umeandikiwa check, but mtu hana shughuli ya tuonane kesho ama kesho kutwa away from here.
Yeah.
So kuna ule atakam akuandikia akwambie tunaenda home na wewe sai.
Wewe. Ati juu umeandika check?
Juu umeniandikia check.
Uncle Daddy.
Okay, I've tore several checks in their faces because I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
Ni unitip roho safi tuendelee na life.
If you liked my performance,
there are people who would come and make it rain on you, and I'm like, fine, thank you. But sasa hawa kuandika check alafu tuende na wewe.
It's quite risky.
It's very risky, and it needs a lady who has thick skin. Just know why you're here. And know ukitipiwa pesa ni poa, but then again zikiisha alafu ushafanya hizo maneno zingine
alafu heshma, heshma lazima itume. And then the worst thing is once kwanza, especially with the male species, once it goes around that's what you do, that will be the tool of trade,
and everyone else who comes, they maybe wamepewa message na ule wa previous osio munegere siga nona ni agwitikira
guy,
so you start going around your clients like this.
That becomes the market price.
I have never kweli wa Mungu sijawai.
It's the best thing to do because you have to secure your face and secure who you are.
And I think that's why I'm still here standing.
Yeah.
Because, over time, unapatanga to scandal tumekufuata. Sijui 3 years ago tulikuwa na sijui wapi. Me, none has ever followed me because I've always been... Please.
Kept it.
I have a vision. Nani pale. Usinihengeshe hapa.
Is that the only thing that has kept you grounded?
I would say also my mom's prayers.
Yes.
Because she really prays for us.
Wow.
And advice. Because even her, she's been around. She's been around the world.
Amefanya kazi huko. Amepatana na watu.
So, anakuambia, sasa hapa usifanye hivi, ukifanya hivi. She has some sort of wisdom, which I really appreciate.
Yeah.
And also, venye tulilelewa na adabu. Wacha tuseme, my mom did a good job.
You talk about your mom a lot. What about your dad?
My dad passed on in 2002.
Oh, no.
Rest his soul.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, he was vitabu. Okay?
Yeah.
Nisome.
Sasa angekuona kwa stage.
Sasa angeniona huko.
Angesema, mi ndio mambo nilisema.
But I'm sure he's smiling down at me right now. Yeah.
He passed away when you were how old?
Please, let's not go there. Nishasema mwaka. Sasa nikisema how old?
No, maybe you were a teenager or grown up. I don't know.
I would say I was a teenager. Let's say between 13 and 19. I was there.
So you still needed him even now. But even now as a grown-up, you still need him.
We all need our dads.
How did mom handle it? Because now she had you and your siblings, and then now anabeba you it peke yake.
Yeah, me being the last born, and my mom is a strong soldier.
Yeah, you're the baby.
Yes, I'm the last born.
Okay.
So me, I've always seen my mom as very strong. And now me being a mom, I'm like, guy, this is what mom used to go through.
Guy.
Yeah. Yeah, so I would say we missed him as the father figure, but my mom really stepped up.
Oh, wow. She had to do what she had to do.
She had to do what she had to do.
I like to hear that. I like to hear that. I like to hear that, at least, someone showed up, played their part, did what they need to do. Because a lot of times when you hear one person missing, family naanguka sana, raisi sana. So it's always good to hear someone step up and do what they need to do. But did you guys ever talk about how hard it is for her to be a mom alone?
We have never actually.
You haven't?
Aki hatujawai.
But you've been a mom. You're a mom.
I am.
You're a mom.
Yeah.
And do you go to her for certain things?
Like every
does she parent you, bado?
I'm still a baby. In her eyes, I'm still a baby. Because I'll go to her, she's ready to advise you.
Wait.
I'll go over physically or I'll call her like every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's essential at the end of the day. I'd like to go shift gears, of course, to family now, because being a mother of two, hey, sio rahisi. Na ndo wewe hapa kwa stage.
Na kwa bia.
Now, I want to know, because your son, of course, by the time you're doing a lot of music, people start knowing that that's your mom.
Yeah.
Would he walk around and say, that's my mom is famous? And how did he handle it in school?
Okay, which one now? Because all of them have treated me differently.
Allah. I know of your one son and the baby. The small one, right? I don't know if there's another one.
No.
You just have two.
I just have two boys. Yes. Really mama boys.
So mama boys, the firstborn.
The firstborn.
How did he handle you being famous and, also doing that? Because wewe utamwambia hakuna kwenda out, hakuna kufanya nini na kuona mama si ulikuwa umeenda kuperform Mugithi.
By the time I was becoming famous, he was a big boy.
Okay.
So he understood.
He understood, but he's seeing you.
And over me, like most of my life, I have sung. Whether I was famous or not.
Yeah.
So he knew, mom ikifika gedha fulani ni kwenda job. So he knew.
Yeah.
So even when I became famous, I was like, hey, mom, siku hizi unajulikana. I'm like, hey. Yani unaimba Mugithi na unajulikana. Ngambia, hey. So he started even now looking for, trying to understand, hizi ni gani hizi zinafanya mama kwe famous.
He didn't expect you to do
He
Mugithi.
didn't. And now when I started traveling, I'm going to Qatar, I'm going to UK, he's like, Mugithi imekupeleka huko.
He didn't believe it. Nilikuwa dhani tu utakuwa unaimba tu hapa ya Michael. Area. Wapi.
But we used to have talks at home away from work, and I used to tell him, sasa hii ndio bread and butter, and I love it. Yes. I've not been pushed by anyone.
Yeah.
So even when we used to talk about how he's going to pick up a career, I used to tell him, pick something you love.
Oh, yes.
Yes, don't be pushed to do anything
you can't
you
even
don't
now
want.
tell him to stick to books and to papers. Well, you're not doing it. Have you ever used your PR career?
Yes, I use it every day. I mean, PR,
Oh, you have to. No, nasema tu like kwa ofisi nini.
I tried.
Yeah.
But your schedule ya 9 to 5.
Unaona.
Once
you taste the art life, unasikianga nini na kwa
manze ili nilemea.
I know your son was one of your biggest fans.
Yes.
And we say was because he sadly passed away. And I think that was one of the most, grieving, biggest things to happen in your life. But God has restored.
For sure.
God is kind.
Yeah.
And I think one of the most beautiful things I saw recently was when the friends of your son came home to see you.
Let me tell you.
Oh my gosh.
Hata nile wanashindangwa kukuja every month.
Allah?
They want to mark every month. Mimi huko na machai na mamikate na pikia majenzino unajua washibangi.
Yes. Kwanza vijana.
I'm used to them coming over. But recently when we marked 1 year, it was a full house. From his schoolmates to his friends who are huko nyumbani to online followers who didn't even know us.
Allah.
Yeah, so they were there with us, and I really enjoy having them around, by the way.
Yeah.
For some reason.
I think Gen Zs handle things a little
very
differently than other people.
They are very intentional.
Yeah.
I would say that. Very intentional.
I think that's why people really love them.
Yeah.
Do you remember receiving that news, and who was around you? How did you handle it? Who went to help you pick out what was happening? Do you remember that day?
I do, but up to a certain point. I do.
You forget?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I don't know. It just happened.
It became blurry.
Selective amnesia.
Yeah, selective amnesia.
Yeah, that's what I still have. But I remember up to the point I was told. Then after that, I don't know what happened. Yeah, because I remember the previous night tulikuwa tunamgoja akuje home.
Oh yeah, they were coming home from school.
So I was like, saa moja asubuhi imefika hajafika home. So that's when I was like, yo, I have a friend in Kisumu called Philip.
Yes.
He's the one, box imevunjwa, imekaa butterfly. Mbaye ka box hapo mpeleke.
Yeah.
Oh, sijui nini. So Philip was my go-to guy just to
keep you posted.
So I called Philip and I told him, kuna kakiru, please go and confirm for me because I don't want speculation and I don't want... Yani, roho yangu tu itulie nijue.
So you had a feeling?
There's a way I had a feeling. But this was because of stories coming in.
Oh.
They were like, okay, the list that was given for that particular bus was haphazard because there was no sequence.
Okay.
Like first come, first serve.
The boys got
so the list when walikuwa nafaa kwa hiyo basi, sio wenye walikuwa kwa hiyo basi. That was worry number 1.
Yeah.
Worry number 2 was, kuna wenye wamebaki shule, hawakuenda na hizo easy coach.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, either or.
Yeah.
Worry number 3 was, all the injured who were in the same bus or the bus that had an accident, wako hosi na washongelesha wazazi.
Okay.
So nilikuwa, okay, ako wapi?
We have many options.
Yes. So that's why I told Philip, please clarify this for me.
Yeah.
So he went in and out every hospital zenye zilikuwa zinatajwa and then eventually akajipata ameenda mochari ndio akasema
Yo, that takes a lot for someone.
Imagine a whole night and a better part of the morning. Just wondering, where are we? And all this time I'm calling the teachers, at least wenye nilikuwa na namba zao. I'm trying to contact the WhatsApp groups. Who nani ako kwa ground? Mwenye amepass ni nani?
Can you account for the children?
And they knew. By the time the bus was, they knew who it was.
Yeah.
But they just didn't tell me. Mi niko kuna hangaika.
It's something a little bit common, especially with schools and parents.
And I wonder why.
Because I'm like, this is information you have to... I think maybe it's trying to save face. And you can't save face at this point because this is something very dire. Like, in information, lazima wambie mtu.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's such a...
I think it's
a broken telephone. Yeah?
It's a loophole that's in every institution. I'm not even talking of death. I'm talking of illnesses. Because at some point, unasikia mtu amekuwa mgonjwa ameadmitiwa. Mzazi bado hajaambiwa. Why? Like, situkwe tu na ka system could deliver this kind of news.
Hadi unaona ama watoto tu wako na simu zao
you know? Like, let's be graceful enough to have at least even as an expert who knows how to deliver such news in every school.
In every school.
Yeah, that would really help.
Because it really leaves a lot of suspense for now the parties involved, guardians, caregivers, looking for the information in a very bad gap.
Yeah.
Because even when we look back at the Endarasha school with the incidents of fire, there was still a lot of information. Children are missing. We're not able to account for it. And I'm like, that is very disorderly.
Yes, very.
That's very disorderly like of an institution.
We have entrusted you with our kids. Tumewaleta wakiwa wazima. So now, why aren't you telling us when something happens? You expect us to pay full fees.
Yes.
And you tell us insurances are involved in all that. You tell us kuna nurses and everything that you tell us to believe ziko.
Yes.
But this is a gap that I feel every institution needs.
Yeah.
Mse wa kudeliver hizi news mbaya. Please have them.
Kuna hiyo, but also the disorderly part. Because you mentioned that in the bus that was transporting the children from school to home, they were not accounted for.
No.
Why not?
Yes.
Because you need to account for, unless wameenda wakapanda matatu. Unajua sasa, wakiachiliwa wapande matatu, you can't say anything.
Yeah, it was very...
Ni venye watashikana washikane.
And then also it was a decision that they made like last minute. They were not supposed to travel on that day. They're supposed to travel 3 days later. It was during Easter last year.
Yes.
So si tulikuwa tumebook bus ya 5th April.
Yeah.
Then they started traveling on 31st
of March.
Now this was the Easter period. Yeah. Because students are like, oh, why are we in school? Exams imeisha. It's during Easter. Can we go home? So I would try and put myself in their shoes. Maybe they made the decision hastily because they were afraid the kids would start vandalizing the school. But now at night, simgengoja the next day.
Yeah.
Ndio watoke asubuhi.
There's so many disorderly things.
Like, I really didn't appreciate how they decided to go about it.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Do you remember how many children lost their lives in that incident?
It was only him. He was the only one.
I'm sorry, for some reason, because I remember that accident and how big it was.
He was the only one, but there are others there's a student who lost a whole arm.
Oh no.
It was amputated.
Yes.
There are others who broke ribs, like basi unajua vilianguka hivi. So the ones who were on this side, my son being one of them at the corner, were all injured. Now here's the part. There's no one to, facilitate hospital bills, to facilitate who has been hurt, to even put what... My son's word was out there because I'm a public figure.
Yes.
We made noise.
Of course.
Sasa hawa wengine wenye waliumia
the many other children.
Surely, walinyamaziwa. And I feel that's very, very unfair. Kama wewe alikatwa mkono, who paid the bill?
Oh no.
Was there any sort of compensation?
Yeah.
Easy Coach at this point ata mimi, they still haven't, done what they're supposed to do.
Or even said anything worse.
They have not. The school, pole, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot, like, me, I feel like there are certain systems that are missing. And I'm saying this because we agree accidents happen.
Yes.
I'm not blaming anyone.
Yes.
But in the end of the day, what happens after that?
Tunaweka mikakati gani ku make sure ya kwamba these things don't happen in the future.
Yeah.
And even more so, why don't we not structured as a people?
Yeah.
Especially for a school, I think it's very unbecoming because kama kuna mahali tunafunzwa kukuwa na structure ni kwenye shule. Because you're told wake up at this time, write down at this time. It's very unbecoming of the people who are at the helm of that school not to have that.
Yeah.
It's sad to hear, and of course my heart goes out to even the children who were injured. Man, I hope you can be able to get in line with life, because that's big changes.
It's very unfortunate.
Losing your arm or something like that. Oh man, changes your life.
Yeah.
I can imagine what it did to you as a mother. And there's this one who's 8 years. And they have to understand that bro is missing. And you have to be a mom to them and still be a musician and still be Kareh, Wangari, and still be a sister to other people. Between Easter and December of 2025, who are you?
I don't know.
Hello?
Time passed by. I can't tell you what happened when. After. That's where I'm telling you, kulikuwa na akablari section of 2024 that either I've chosen not to remember or I seriously can't remember. Yeah. So me, I was just a walking zombie. But I had a very strong system around me. Wow. Like I had my sisters, my mom, because even her, she had gone through the same with my sister.
Oh, no.
Winnie Mugathi.
Oh,
you remember Winnie Mugathi?
I think. Oh, yeah, that's your sister.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. She's such a star. No, for real, she is.
She was.
I didn't know it was your sister. Guy, unajua ndo mtu shtuka.
Wow.
But then we've watched her for a long time.
Yeah,
she was on TV.
That was my sister.
Oh my gosh, she's such a beautiful presenter.
Yeah.
I think she's one of the people that I grew up watching. Her, Sophie Kenye. Man, tulikuwa tunaangalia tunasema.
Nataka kusoma kama yeye.
Oh my gosh.
It's a small world. Yeah, so my mom really held my hand because she had gone through the same before. And I would say prayers and well wishers from online. Yani, as much as they were holding me up.
Yeah.
Me, I can't remember what happened.
It was a blur.
Juzi tu ndio na resurface hata mentally niko
And she confessed that on the phone because when we talked, I asked her to come on set last year, and she was like, I'll come. And then now when we talk this year, I'm like, now we can talk.
Now I'm ready. Because I want to have this conversation. I believe 2024, we lost a lot of youths and there are a lot of mothers who are going through what I'm going through.
Yeah.
So I told myself that anytime, being a public figure, you can't haper these things.
Yeah.
Anytime I come on camera and say something, I want to give some strength to this other woman who lost her child as well. So I don't want to come here and start crying. And so I had to be strong emotionally.
It's okay to cry. It's not
It's
wrong.
okay.
It's
do
just
cry.
You need to.
I do cry.
You have to have composure.
I weep like.
I can imagine.
But now I try and compose myself because I feel like my followers really look up to me in terms of loss and grief. And not to say that I'm here talking about it and I'm not shedding a tear doesn't mean I don't feel it. Yeah. I do. It's just that I'm still dealing with my emotions. I'm still dealing with how to live with a loss of my son. And I am hoping that I can be an inspiration to people out there, just to show that life inaendanga hivi. So that sisi will not be here for forever. Yeah. So as soon as you accept, the better.
Winnie, oh my God, I didn't know. I think she's such a beautiful soul.
Yeah, she was.
She was sick when she was passing on.
She had COVID.
Yeah,
she had COVID.
Oh my God, it was so recent.
How 2021?
I don't know why. It's because she was on screen for a long time. I feel like it was zamani. And then the years between 2020 and now unasikia kaka ni mingi, uko confused. And Winnie leaving media for a while, because there's a time she left media.
Yeah.
She saw you performing. She saw you as a star.
She was my biggest supporter.
Oh my goodness.
Biggest.
Yeah?
There's a song, the first song I released after Twega, now I wanted to do solo Mugithi songs. It's called Haha Negote. It's a reply to just like, Negote.
It's a good one.
There's a part I was saying, Otigaga mokago korore koinage.
Yeah.
Akohorera thimu kamwira wewera nikiuthiaga gwetha mukagwa tangiona ndeciria horo acio bani ngona nigute. So the first time I sent Mukami that song, she was like, Aki, ebu sikiza your song. She was like, release that song. You are saying the truth. If anyone is disturbed, that is their problem.
Oh my gosh.
So she was my biggest supporter.
Oh my goodness. Anyone who missed out on Winnie, you missed out.
Aki anani. Aki, you missed out.
I was a kid and I still remember.
She was such a gem.
I still remember till today.
And every time you'd meet with her, it's just a ball of energy, like encouragement, anakupatia ideas. Ati ni wapi hapo umekwama, jaribu kufanya hivi na hivi na hivi, utaona, utakam kuniambia. Yani, if you missed out on Mukami, I'm sorry.
Did she have kids by the time she was passing?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How did mom handle it? Because, you know,
my mom was broken.
It takes a lot of someone kulea mtu, and then you see it's in a Uma. How did you guys even be able to
like
console
we were
her?
all a wreck.
Guy.
Mukami was like, yani yende alikuwa ye. You know who Mukami was. So you can imagine in our family. She was all that and so much more. So we were all a wreck. Mm-hmm. I think hata mpaka leo tujai heal.
Oh my God.
Nile tu na live one day at a time.
Yeah. And then now, you see, now even your mom, now she also has to be a mom as well.
You know?
Or you guys have lost a sibling. She's lost. It's a weird dynamic when you think about grief, because everyone feels the pain. Even us as your fans, seeing you go through, like, Aki, what can we do?
You know?
Like, and then you're like, okay, this you have to go through it alone. That's a weird thing about grief.
Yeah.
As much as everyone wants to come and hold your hand and tell you, oh, we hear you and whatever, this is a journey you really have to walk alone.
You really have to walk alone. And I say, people coming to my DMs and telling me, how are you able to? I'm just, if you're experiencing what I'm experiencing, make sure to go through it. Don't avoid it.
Machozi.
Kama ni machozi, jaza bucket.
Makamafe.
Kama ni kuongelesha mtu, ongea. Don't die alone. Because I've had a very strong system. Every time they hear me talking about Joe, they're like listening.
Ongea.
By the way, if
fungua roho.
Every day I talk about him.
Yeah.
But the people around me, they're like, hey, by the way, hata mimi nakumbuka. We talk as if
he's still around.
Yeah. So if you're going through grief, please go through it.
Yeah.
Don't avoid it.
Can you perform? Did you perform any lineup between that Easter? Because Easter is a hot time.
It's a hot time.
I know you had.
I didn't.
You had a lot of schedules.
I had to cancel them. Previous contracts that I had already signed, I really had to cancel them.
There was no
and I bless those clients of mine because they didn't ask for a refund. Because usually they pay a down payment. They didn't ask for a refund. Akimi, God bless you so much.
That's so kind.
When you're ready, you will come. Give us another date.
Atuna shida.
So they were very understanding.
I know dealing with Kenyan clients is a little
can
bit
be crazy.
Nani hapa hajalipa check, mwambie hapa kuandikia. So I say now on the POV podcast.
Au tunaachia Mungu tusiwanike sana because
why?
They're there. No, they're there. Kwanza when you're a lady and you're putting your quotation out there, showing some seriousness, they're like, nitakulipa Kareh, siwezi kosa kukulipa. We perform. Nilijichuna hapa.
Hapa chini.
Tuma down payment kwanza. Nikifika umeniona hivi kwa venue, tuma balance. Please. Okay. You're not gonna wait till I finish performing, then I'm there looking for you. Nitamaliza perform 3am nianze kutafuta. Hapana.
Na sasa labda zake zimeshika.
No. Kiniona kwa venue, lipa balance.
Kusani shafika hakuna mali.
Bwana. Mimi ni dem, sina time ya kushinda hapo nikizurura 4am na kutafuta. Tukue serious.
Ngapi zimepotea barabarani?
Mingi.
Ile check kubwa sana ushanyanyaswa, nieleze nione nitatafuta mtu afanye hiyo bill.
Ni mingi. Akitusitaje ma numbers joto tadhani kwani Kareh analipishanga how much.
Ni sawa. Si bei yako ikiwa juu ni sawa. Top dollar. Top dollar. Top dollar. I talk about top dollar.
Ni mob. From different places ni mob. Mob. Utapata 10k pale, kafinje pale, mwingine alibaki na balance. Ni do mob accumulatively.
Accumulatively inakuwa mingi. So what is the procedure now? Other than that, do you have a management that helps you deal with this?
When I saw that is a katabia that's going on with managers, and utapata not necessarily the club, ni the manager ndiye anakuibianga. So when I saw that was like a trend that was happening, I decided to draft a contract. If you're engaging me, please, I send you my contract. If kuna shida nini tukutane tukunywe maji to rectify, tuone kama we're on the same page. After we sign the contract, have the down payment with you
on the table.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I've come up with a contract where even the guys I'm coaching, because I do vocal training.
Yes.
And I've decided to kushikanisha na making music a business.
Yes.
So every student I have, I show them how to draft a contract for
as
themselves.
well.
Yeah.
You educate them.
Yes, I educate them.
I think it's quite fair because one of the saddest things is to be thrown into our industry and then you do so well and you don't know what to do. Umeingia tu ukaswim tu pale.
Unfortunately, like the likes of Ruth Matete and everyone who won TPF, they were just thrown into the deep end.
Ingia ujue venye utafanya.
Yani hawajui wanzie wapi. It's very unfair.
Ask me, I know. Even me, I've thrown in the deep end.
For real, how?
Within the first month, I was told, fanya show kubwa. And then after, like, there's barely any guidance of the industry. You just do as you may. And then the worst thing is, if you're doing okay, they're like, are you good? You don't need help. You're good. It's like, we're just learning as we go.
Yeah, and then now me, I'm the art, I'm the music.
Yes.
I can't start if you can't multitask.
Yeah.
Itakuwa ngumu kwanza kufikiria mambo ya contract. Unafikiria venye sound itafika stage.
Your makeup is on set.
It's a lot.
Vanguard.
It's a lot.
Is your band on
if you can have a team.
Yeah.
You have a team. Hiyo itakusaidia sana. Now you'll be able to concentrate on your music.
I know one of the woes of being in the limelight is the haters that come with it.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them could be dangerous even. And others could claim so many things.
Yeah.
Kareh B anataka kunibia bwana. Kareh B, my husband likes her too much. Kareh B, she stole my song. That beat, I'm the one who recorded it with a producer. Even me, I'm the one who wrote that song with Gatutura. You'll sing.
Because ya bwana, nimenyang'anya mabwana wengi over time. Akia nani. Even the wife comes over when I'm performing and I'm mi bwanangu anakupenda. Niko
Sasa.
Msalimie.
Unajua tuko stage, How do you handle haters? Because I know they come in your DMs and some of them even come on your comments. And some of them become a little bit grievous to even turning into stalkers. I don't know if you've experienced it. Maua ambazo hazina jina, nimekuona na hiyo dress, hiyo yellow na red.
I've had stories, people printing out my photos and, stacking them up on their ceiling.
To do what?
Whatever.
Hiyo ni uchawi. That is witchcraft. Why would you do that?
Well, I'm just pointing out the extremes that your fans can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So DMs nimezipata, my haters ni wengi.
No, someone prints your photo and puts it up on the ceiling.
So akilala ananiona. Pengine hata wewe uko naye. Yeah, so our fans can really be crazy at some point.
Someone confessed they do something in my photo and I told them, please stop doing that. From now forward, you are molesting my photos.
My spirituality.
No. Don't tie me in your mom.
Yeah, so haters wako and I love them.
But you've never been attacked or anything.
I have.
Girl, no.
Whoa, nile tu I ignore them.
Where?
Online.
No, of course online. That's online nakwambia nini.
Where?
Kareh, you're such a sweetheart. Like, unasumulia nini Kareh? Like, she's really about her business. She's not even controversial.
Kwanza, when I got into the industry of Mugithi, the hate I received.
Was it? You sure it was from fans ama ilikuwa kutoka your fellow mates?
I don't. Well. That is very. I would say people who are saying my voice is not for Mugithi. Because I came with all the glam and the makeups and, look well, calculating my look. Wacha niko show.
What are you trying to say?
Me, I got comments. Sasa unakaa shindi unapaka hiyo makeup hiyo masaa yote. I'm like, yeah. Hausikiangi uzito kwa uso. I'm like, try it.
I think it's because, Mugithi is really related to Kienyeji. People don't see it like that.
So the same people who are telling me, your makeup yote are the same people who are applying makeup right now.
They're keeping up.
I used to calculate my look. Ata Jose alikuwa ananiambia, "Tika go serious mono." I'm like, present, because I learned this from Achenga Bura.
Yeah.
Presentation matters. How people see you is how they carry you.
Yes.
So when I think a lot on how I present myself.
Yeah.
And people were like, si utokelete tuna jeans na t-shirt na sneakers.
Because that's the way a lot of Mugithi stars look.
Yeah.
Like God Papa.
And I really love the fact that ladies these days are taking time.
Oh, so when do ulianza kusema when do ulianza hiyo trend?
Sitaki kusema ni mimi. Walakini, I presented myself from day one.
Yeah.
And that's where the hate was coming from.
Yeah.
And I guess over time, if you can't beat them, you join them.
I wouldn't lie. For someone who's done PR, of course, you understand image is everything. You have to set up how you want to be presented and how you want to be received. So you had to do it. It's out of respect.
I really did. Again, niko na vision. Nikwambia vision yangu iko huko. Haiko hapa. Nataka mtu ako US ananiangalia anasema, wow. Okay, sisikia anasema nini, but napenda venye anakaa.
Hata kama ongei lugha yangu. Bado ina work. There's something I wanted to ask and I almost forgot. We have so much cultural appropriation as a Kikuyu. I'm talking about Mugithi and also the country music. When you do a lot of country music, because I know that's what you were doing with Jeff on Citizen. I don't know if it would trickle to Inoro or Kameme, I'm not sure. There's something, so much appropriation we do as Kikuyu that sometimes makes me wonder, because country has really been picked up in Central. It's such a central thing. I don't know if other countries do it, but we're the only ones. And I'm always like, because Juicy, we saw the Luo weddings, people wearing in Nigerian wear. And we're like, why are you wearing Nigerian wear? And you're the Luos, you can do that. Then you come to Kikuyu's, a lot of country music, and you're like, okay, what's up? What is this and cultures? Because you are actually doing it yourself.
Well, I would say what is fashionable at this time, especially with the rurashios and the dress codes. I would say what is fashionable at the time. Right now, people say the Niger attire is very nice, but ata Wakikuyu, yani ka brown lazima katambe.
Brown.
Kwa Mugithi lazima. Whether I'm changing the outlook of the dress, it has to be brown.
Yes.
So I guess needed to acceptance. Let's accept who we are and embrace who we are and just build ourselves around who we are, as much as we're emulating something from the outside. In terms of music, country music and Mugithi, they are songs that have a story. Like you can listen to that song and hear something. You can follow through up to the end.
Okay.
And karugano way, unasikia, hey, iko story ni kazuri. And you
don't count your money.
When you're sitting at the table,
you count it in the backyard.
So I think that's why. And then Kikuyus, for lack of a better explanation, we are hard workers.
Okay.
And we want, by the time tunamaliza kutafuta do, tukae chini to enjoy kamziki kana make sense. Si kurukaruka tumechoka. Please relax me.
Allah. And
that's through country music and Mugithi.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. She's not packaged herself into one artist, but Benga, award-winning artist. Kwa majina ni Kareh B.
Yeah.
She has so many beautiful messages. One that I've caught and I've really, taken to heart is go through it.
Yeah.
There's no other way.
By the way, whatever SHIT you're going through, go through it.
Pitia tu utatokea saidingi na kuna njaro ingine. I think that's a beautiful message from us here at POV Podcast. It's a super, super thank you. Make sure you follow her and check her out on all our platforms. This is POV Season 3. Thank you.